So welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Bart Rademacher, prescription for your transformation. Hashtag real people, hashtag real conversation. So I'm actually back in the United States, in Florida. Just had a crazy day flying from the Bahamas, going through Miami. And, you know, really it's all about that story, that personal story that you have, which truly is a remarkable story. If you're really going to be honest with yourself, if you want to find that sweet spot within yourself, when you find that true person, that true gem, the true magic of who you really are. And if you have your own business, or even if you don't have your own business, I think one of the key things is that you deserve for the rest of the world to know about you. You deserve that. And to get that essence of who you really are is key. And there are not very many people in this world that really do a good job into finding out what that really is or what that can really be for you. And so finding that branding expert, finding that person that has the energy, has the passion, and has the creative insights to put it all together is exactly who I'm introducing today. So I'm really delighted to be introducing Milissa Claire. Thank you for joining me today on Facebook Live. I have watched many of your Facebook Live things and I watch you on Facebook and all the wonderful, amazing things that are really quite inspiring. And I would love for you to share today some of the magic and some of the things that you get to create for other people. Because again, it's not only finding who you really are, which is something I hope you're going to talk about later on, but it's also letting the rest of the world know who that is.
Well, thank you very much for this invitation. Hello, everyone. As you said, my name is Milissa Claire, and I love the title that you gave us, and I love the introduction. And it's funny, as you put this program on, it had this sort of echo. And as you said, it's looking for me. And I actually thought about it, it made me think about how it pertains to what we're talking about. It's like when you use technology right now, it's honing in to find this server to put it on Facebook Live, right? So it's sort of like this server has been created to become a platform so that people can see you. But you need to have something that can pull us together and put us on the platform. And that's kind of what I think about one of my things that I do with people. It's so funny because I just was speaking to someone, and as we got on this, we had a really heartfelt conversation, and she says to me in Spanish, Milissa, you put my heart into a capsule and you captured it. And when someone tells me something like that, it's just like, wow, as a transformational coach and creating my process of an online business, you have to become visible and you have to really believe in yourself, right? Like I'm looking at you here. We're actually having a real conversation here, but it's in this sort of like, Tron world of that doesn't really exist, but it does. And for some people, that can be frightening because it is, in a sense, that's why I have my program, Global Brand Star, because it is a global market. And for some people, that can be overwhelming. But at the same time, when you bring it all back in and you bring it back to that beginning seed of why you started, of what your real message is, of what your real purpose is, of who you are and what you have to offer, and you come from that place of creation and you stand strong, and when you have that idea, that vision, then everything, becomes more clear. And like they say, clarity equals energy, right? And I mean, I don't know if, they say like, most people don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. So how can you know what you're going to create if you don't know what you want, right? So what's really important, I think, for people when they're creating their brand, when they're creating their business, is to know what they want, why they want it, and how they can really serve someone else with what they have. I mean, I don't know if you have anything to interject. I'm sure you, as a doctor, you have me here. Like, what was your why? May I ask, like, what did you want?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I believe, and I love the way that you phrase it, is so you captured her essence and put it in a bowl. Or I think you said bowl, or you said something else. And that's so true because as we grow up, and this is a long-winded answer to your questions, but I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible because I really want to hear more about you than me talk. But life is magical, and the way that we were talking before this, you really make that magical. And I think all of us want that happiness. We all deserve or desire divine happiness. We want to have fun in life. And as long as we're listening to too many other people, the naysayers or the things, the critics or whatever, or the cynics, then it's sort of like we lose that magic. I mean, I still believe in Santa Claus. I mean, that whole concept is just a wonderful thing. Why would you ever lose that magic in life? And so my passion, what I get very excited about, is really about the human experience and human potential. And so I'm passionate about creating change, enhancing life, and enhancing other people's lives. And so for me, it's exciting just hearing you, talking to you, listening to the magic that I hear in your voice. And then I'm thinking, you know what? I can't wait for other people to hear you too, because then they're going to resonate with you and they're going to say, hey, you know what? I want to meet that Milissa. I want to talk to that Milissa. She's got something for me. And then you get to change somebody's life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the word resonate because the word resonate actually has to do with vibration, with sound, with energy. And it's funny because sometimes my boyfriend's always like, you and your energy stuff. But I know he knows what I'm talking about. But it really is what I've really seen happen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a branding photographer. And just a quick story about me is I grew up as a little kid. I would dance in my grandparents' house, listening to classical music. I would dance, do shows till the sun would set. And then I became I realized that I was kind of an introvert, but I still love that life. So I thought, hey, I'll be a photographer. So I grew up in South Florida and I started to meet all the models in South Beach. And so I started to get into photography and I loved it, but I loved it because I could also hide, right? Because people wouldn't judge me on the way I looked because I've never been a skinny model. And especially in my day, having curves wasn't in fashion. So I was like, you know what, this is what I can do. I can be in the great life that I love, but I can be using my mind and I can be capturing other people. So I became a photographer and then, things brought me to Mexico. I live in Cancun, Mexico. And I was a wedding photographer, photographing people. I love photography. I love the magic of it because it is magic. It's that creation of when, the lens opens, the light comes in. Before it used to hit paper, which is even more magic, or photographic film, but it's still that capturing of that essence, And so I was a photographer a long time, but you know what happens? People still notice me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was hiding. I was literally hiding. And so sometimes I would go to a wedding and everybody would ask, oh, who are you? What do you do? And I'd be like, no, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Just look at the bride. Just look at the other people. And I literally had a dream, like literally, I don't know if this. And my dream, my mouth was open and it said, sing, Milissa, sing. So I started taking singing lessons. Long story short, I ended up recording an album. I ended up being in front of several audiences with thousands of people and radio shows. And it was really frightful because I was really an introvert trying to break through my shell and follow what, life was telling me to do. And so when I got on, then I became pregnant. So of course you can't really sing. And, as a photographer, you're not so mobile either. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I started going inward and I really started to investigate what was going on. What were these feelings? What were these fears? What made me want to hide? What made me feel like when I stepped out on stage, instead of enjoying it at first, it was the most frightful and horrible thing I've ever done in my life. Like I show pictures and I'm like, but I'm scared. And so when I got back online and I had to start posting pictures, I got that same feeling again. I finally overcame my stage fright, But when I got back online, it was kind of like a whole new monster of everybody else's opinions instead of my own self shining.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really how I've created this program. Kind of, I took all of my knowledge through these last years and of my life and through my knowledge. And I really want to help people break through those barriers that are holding them back, that when they post a picture, instead of saying, yeah, they're like, oh, I don't know. Do I look fat? Maybe I shouldn't put that one. What should I say? I'm not really sure. Or, oh, I'm going to wait to get my pictures till, I lose weight, or till I have my ideal client figured out. Or, the whole process of taking pictures is, I love it. Like, really, if you ask me the whole process I love. But the final day when I'm with my client and we're in a city somewhere in Paris and Florence, Miami, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Cancun, Tulum, after everything's done, at the end of it, they always like sit down in front of me and they have their hair done and their makeup done and they're like, wow, that was fun, And it's like, yes, it's that saying yes to yourself. Like I'm looking at your glasses, right? And I just got my own glasses, right? So
Nice.
I was actually looking at other people's branding and, not to become this like supermodel or look like what everybody else looks like. It's picking what your true essence is. And I love to use Kim Luna. She's got her blue hair. She's totally punk, but she's working it. And there's other, I can't remember her name. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that really, once you step into energetically and say, this is who I am, this is how I am, this is what I really like, this is how I really speak, for example, I really love to study metaphysics, energy. When I work with some clients, I have powerful conversations. And I really do believe that those conversations aren't just coming from me and my mind. That's coming from a universal intelligence. And not only are we connected through Skype or through the computer, we're connected on a consciousness, on a conscious level, right? And so being able to be confident enough and say that out loud, like, hey, I'm a little woo-woo, or hey, I love to meditate, or whatever you are, or hey, I hate meditating, or be who you are, is so important because, I always say that like the online world is like going to a cocktail party or what they call social event.
Right. So like a networking event.
Sorry, I don't really get those in Cancun. So yeah, it's like going to a network event. You don't want to show up wearing uncomfortable shoes, wearing something you would never wear, wearing your hair where you never, just so that people just trying to think that's what you're supposed to be like. You want to really show up who you are. Now, are there people out there who go to a network event and they're scared? I'm sure. But, showing up is the first step to success. Saying yes to yourself is the other step to success. Staying on that constant vibration, that constant resonating, having that vision, having that map, knowing what are the possibilities is the other step. And if you fall down, having someone who can support you and say, hey, I see you, I understand you. You have every right to fall down because when you were little, something really dramatic happened to you, or when you were 14, someone told you you were really ugly and that stuck in your head, but you know what? That's the past. Let's go to the future. Let's get this done. Let's get your pictures. Let's get you out there. And you have the right to own your business, and part of owning in a business is marketing your business.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's about that sweet spot. It's about capturing and capsuling the heart and giving it love, but it's also about, saying, hey, this is your business. This is your money. This is your investment. So what I really like to do with my clients, once I get their pictures taken, something that I'm working on now is working with designers so that they already have everything designed. They already know what they want to be posting, what some of their copy is, what some of their story is. You know, like where you're talking to me, you can probably pick out 50 different keywords that I'm saying. Capture your magic, encapsulate your heart. Like all of those things are copy that you can use as a headline with a really powerful image. And you just keep putting that out there. And just like you know, I didn't know you look at my videos. Like, thank you for telling me. And, you know, it's funny because I've been doing more Facebook and I do them on my business page because you're not supposed to be doing them on your personal page. And plus, if you do them on your business page, then it's much easier to run ads to them. And it's a really quick way to it's an inexpensive way to market actually certain things, your opt-ins, your free gifts, your videos. You know, it's an amazing platform. I can't remember what I was going to say. But, oh, I didn't know you were watching it. And sometimes I'll be on my business page and there's nobody on there. And I'm just talking to myself. But you know what? It's the same thing. If you're on a stage and there's only 2 people in the audience, those 2 people are there to see you.
Yep.
And you never know who might watch this later where they're going to hear my voice. They're going to see the magic that I feel. And they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I'm procrastinating in perfection. That's what I like to call it. I'm procrastinating, and that's my excuse. Or you know what? I don't really believe in myself sometimes, and I should. Or maybe there's something else that is not allowing you to move forward, and you're just holding back all of this magic that somebody else is waiting for, right? I mean, what if I didn't show up today? What if I had a cold in the morning? What if I said, oh, you know what, I don't feel good, and you know, I had a pimple here, you know, like, oh, I have a pimple, I don't feel good, I'm not really prepared, what am I going to say? You know what, better I don't go on. No, the show has to go on. You have to go from, this is another analogy I like to use, and I know I feel like I'm talking a million miles a minute, but just tell me, can you see me here?
No, I can't. Well, I see your hands and the top of your head.
Yeah, you see some words,
Right.
but you don't see me. You know, people want to see you. People buy from people that they find incredible and that they are inspired by, and the people that strike their curiosity. You know, in today's market, I was listening to an audiobook called Brief. Have you heard of this book?
I have not heard of that one.
Actually recommended it. It's called Brief, and it talks about how we're living in this world of too much information, and we're actually in this sort of overload of information. So make it brief, make it powerful. Use a powerful headline with an amazing image, because images go 60,000 times faster in the brain than words. I mean, a quick headline, it's just like a magazine. They don't put it like a huge, you know, they have a big picture with a lot of copy on it, with headlines. So, you know, get your beautiful pictures. Use high quality pictures. Use some selfies too, but you can't run a business on selfies. You can't run a business on just pictures that your husband took or that your great uncle took and that you think that maybe they're okay. You know, you deserve to have those high quality images with right?
Yep.
And so, you know, I say to people, and another really important thing is a branding photographer. You know, sometimes people are like, well, what's the difference between a branding photographer and a regular photographer? And I'll be like, well, have you ever worked with a regular photographer? And they're like, yeah, you know what? They had no idea what I wanted. They had no idea what I was doing online. You know, like I took some pictures in front of my home, but, you know, does your garden really have anything to do with your brand? So, you know, make sure that your images really do speak about who you really are in your brand. You know, if you love bold color, make sure you bring that in. If you love to be really excited, you know, put that in. If you're serious, you know, make sure that people can to know you visually and that they can identify with you. And, you know, I don't know how much more time we have, but creating brand identity is not something that happens overnight. You know, brand identity is a process. And it's really important. That's why you don't just give up. Even if you're doing Facebook ads or if you're doing Facebook lives, if you're posting on Instagram, don't give up. Keep going on that brand identity. Keep going out there. Keep with the message. Keep with your story, with the colors, with the, and the really important thing, a mistake that I made in my business is that I was getting out there and I was doing things, but I didn't have anything really to offer. So, anyone listening, when you're out there, make sure you have that amazing gift to offer, a free opt-in, a free checklist. Make sure that you have a call to action because this is a business. And make sure that call to action really speaks about your knowledge and that's inviting someone in to your home and to your store, right? And all of this end product goes all the way back into you, right?
Oh yeah.
And so that's where the real magic begins, and that's where I love my job. I love really listening to people, really listening. Like, did you hear what you just had to say? Did you realize that that's what you really are thinking? I'm just going to repeat what you said to me, okay? And then sometimes they say amazing things, and I'm like, do you realize you just gave me 25 different headlines and what you're saying to me? That's amazing. And that's where the magic begins, is really having that person to listen to you, to hear you, to help you get aligned to your vision and photograph it and get out on the stage.
I love all this. I just hope that a lot of people get to hear you because I'm just intoxicated right now. I'm just taking this all in because it's so wonderful, magical, if you will. Because you know what? And again, it's sort of what I was saying earlier on is that, all of us are magical beings, but we get so overwhelmed with everything in life. And that's unfortunate. And, we're all unique and we all have a gift and we all have a talent. And there's nothing more fun in this world than being able to share that with others and find that uniqueness. And, sort of like you said, I mean, what I got from what you said too earlier on is, finding who you really are and just, stepping into your personal power. And so in that personal power, you're unstoppable. I mean, nobody's going to stop you. And you deserve not to be stopped because there are so many people out there that do want to stop you. And I believe that, the human potential is so awesome, so enormous, that we could be doing so much more in this entire world if we just focused on that internal journey that you're talking about, because it's a beautiful journey inside. It's hard sometimes. It's scary sometimes, just with all the things that you said. But I can imagine you have a lot of very lucky clients out there that get to work with you, that you get to extract all that wonder and encapsulate their heart, because that's just that's your brand. And, that's a beautiful brand.
And it's thank you. Yeah. And honestly, creating Global Brand Star has been a journey. It wasn't an overnight thing. It's been find your tools, create that toolbox and don't be afraid, and it's really like, they say it's about that end result, right? So what I love about being a photographer is I have a physical end result that I can give someone. And when you were saying something about like that inner journey, that's something that I've, during these last years of my life, studying transformational coaching, meditations, visualizations, some of my favorite authors are hypnotherapists. I use that on myself all the time. Like there's actually, I love Paul McKenna. There's actually a visualization where you actually, you see yourself and you actually hug yourself and you go into that self. So, I'm quite fascinated by time and by this whole, the way it works. Like it's not me saying it. I mean, I've seen the magic. Like when you say the word magic, like literally I had a session this week where it's like, this isn't even, I actually say to the client, this is not even really me speaking. This is just like, this isn't just my mind speaking to you. This is like bigger than me. Yes, I mean, yes. Literally my energetic body, my soul is much bigger than me. Right. So it's kind of, it's allowing yourself to to experience that sometimes. And that's what I do when I guide people in meditation. I kind of take them to this place where it's like, wow, like I don't have to just be here or here. I can be expansive. And in that expansiveness, you're not only trying to figure out who you are from here, you're seeing yourself on a larger scale. And I mean, it sounds quite, it's difficult to explain sometimes. That's why I love to read books like Paul McKenna or because they have these techniques, and these techniques I learn, and they're the things that I use on myself and my clients, and I see the results.
Well, I think I could be talking to you all night long because I am learning so much. I'm enjoying this. And, normally I'm doing a lot of the talking. Today's a little different because I'm just enjoying just sitting back and listening to you. And I wish I could stay on longer with you today. And so I want to make a commitment together with you is to have you back on so that we can talk some more. And what would be a lot of fun is if we could get more people to join in the conversation, ask questions perhaps. And so wrapping up, I'd like to ask you, how do people find you? What's the best way? And if you can also add a link later on this page so that people can actually find you. What's the best way for them to find you?
I'm going to be doing a webinar next Wednesday.
Okay.
Next Wednesday, a live webinar. And it's actually going over the 5 secrets that I call all of these different steps.
Nice.
I'll post below once we finish this. But you can find me at melissaclaire.com. You can also find me here on Facebook under Milissa Claire. You can find me on Instagram, Milissa Claire. And like I said, I would love to invite everybody here to my webinar where I go into a little bit more detail about, the steps to really have more visibility and how to use your photos really as one of your main tools. And once again, my website, melissaclaire.com.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much. This was an absolute delight today. And look forward to watching you more often and also having this conversation again. So I'm Dr. Bart Rademacher, prescription for your transformation. #real people, #real conversations, bringing to you new voices, new solutions, your transformation, and really creating the magic within you with people like Milissa so that you can actually find your authentic genius and really have a fun time in life and let everything that you have inside be shared and make that magical for them. So once again, Milissa, thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy Cancun, and I look forward to watching a webinar next week too.
Oh, thank you.